ago and became one of Japan's one of leading set designers.
Yeah.
Behind you is the chair that Sin Cha Hong used as a choreographer, and she used it in Waiting for Godot. This is, again, this shows you a little bit of the diversity that's in aisle here.
Yeah.
All of the instruments you see, both Ellen brings them back and said gives them to the American musicians and said learn how to play this. So because we're going to use it. This is part of her collections. Here we have, in 1970, a Japanese man came here with Tokyo Kid Brothers, his name is Drew Maida. He has received Life Achievement Awards for the work that he's done. He's worked with many designers, and he's taught them how to use the Japanese sword. This was created for the Korean women, okay, which was done in Seoul, Korea.
At the
Yes.
남산에서
Yes.
네.
This was created for Electra. This was created for Medea. And this was for the golden bat. Okay? This pouch here was created for Sam Shepard's The Tooth of the Crime. So again, diversity. Behind you is a rug for When Michael created this as a director, he said to him, Joe, this for sound on stage. Off stage. And, you know, the director turned around and said, no, this for sound on stage.
On stage.
He put it on the stage and it became part of the show.
Yeah.
This is again how things work
Yeah.
here. This is a war machine. Okay, it was used in Seven Against Thieves, which for his own show as well as his own paintings. He was a wonderful artist that we truly recognize. Are these bothering you? Okay. So we're going to go over there for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Red. And inside the chair where the masks are, that was the chorus. They were painted the same color as the chair, okay? And their eyes were closed, and then they would open their eyes and start singing when it was necessary. Carmilla was the story of a vampire, a little girl who's a vampire. And so the entire thing was shown with screens and everything. This is 1970, before MTV, okay? Very important. Creates his wonderful puppets. He's really a choreographer. But now you see this guy, now look to the ceiling. There he is in the ceiling, all right?
Wow, wonderful structure.
When Ellen told him that he could appear in the annex, he could create puppets this big because the theater is that big.
Yeah.
So, but it's about the space informing the artist, his assistant, so that they could learn. Because I said, why Turkish design? He said, because they come from another tradition. They dress the body differently. They see the form.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 4 American designers learned a great deal from them. This was the chorus girls. Okay, this was one of the kings.
Yeah.
Okay, this was a wedding dress. Okay, wonderful combination of elements.
Yeah.
Okay. When we did Romeo and Juliet, she brought this back from Italy, and she gave it to the designers, and she said, "This is what medieval clothes look like." So they used it as a sample. But again, you were learning.
Your research agenda is maybe you have many different archives. Maybe definitely you have pictures of this, and but the video quality is quite low.
Yes.
The voice quality is audio quality is low. But we use the maybe machine learning algorithms,
You can
and
enhance.
then
Yes.
teach them the pictures, and then mapping that picture to this one. Maybe we can upgrade the resolution of the images.
Absolutely. That was incredible. See, one of the things I've been thinking is that
하나씩 이렇게 그렇죠 하루에.
물론 보는 사람은 적을수록 좋을 것 같은데 이게 좀 쌓여서 비판합니다. 어떤지 모르겠어요.
Interactive installation that Sungmin made. So we figured we would.
Sungmin.
Yeah. So Sungmin chair is a graduate of broadcasting from Seoul Institute of the Arts, and he came originally on the short-term internship program to Lamama, and we really loved him, and so he applied again for the long-term internship program, and then he stayed with us for 4 months, and then we invited him back as an artist to work with us on the Panorama project, and then he's worked on many projects since then. And then the Asian Cultural Council, which we'll be meeting tomorrow, they actually gave Sungmin a grant to get a fellowship to study a master's now at Brooklyn College.
And the Asian culture, I mean, so you know, when you meet them tomorrow, they have been really integral in some of the cultural exchanges that we've had with Seoul Arts, as well as with other Asian artists all over the world. But they've brought in Kanglanong 교수님, they've brought 박일규 교수님. A lot of artists and professors have been funded by the Asian Cultural Council to come here and vice versa for work to go there. So they've been really instrumental in that. Yeah.
And this is touch designer, or is this?
No,
This is open framework.
open frameworks.
Open framework.
Yeah.
Yeah, because the OS on the middleware on the Macs sort of thanks to that great company. Sort of hero called,
No, this is saying this side of the room is New York, and that side of the room is Korea, right? So we're basically pretending right now, basically that there's a line right down the middle of the room, and everything on that side of the room is in Korea, and everything on this side of the room is in New York. So,
And we're watching over there, Korea.
well, if
Yeah.
you were in New York, you would be engaging Korea through
Yeah.
this screen,
Right.
basically. If
Yeah.
you were in Korea, you would be engaging New York through that screen,
Right.
basically. So you can sort of block out the other side if you want, or however you want to figure it out. But we basically just want to sort of demonstrate that, okay, in reality, when we're doing our work, we don't have this luxury of being able to look over and actually see the person. We have to deal with them exclusively through the mediated space. But with Live Lab, what we're trying to do is try to break past the audio and the video. So just to full transparency, the audio right now that we're using is not going through the internet because that would create a really crazy amount of feedback. So we're sort of faking the audio. But everything else is going through the internet. So the video is going through the internet. And also other things like data are going through the internet. And so the point that we wanted to sort of demonstrate in this point of research is related to that data channel. And so what can we do beyond the audio and the video? So when you're teaching or when you have a creative exchange, one of the frustrating aspects that you have is that you cannot control really the circumstances in the other environment. And so things like, I might go, well, there's really just too much light on Tae. I wish I didn't see him as much. That's better, right? So now that is sending a message all through the internet. Basically, you can assume that so none of this is happening locally, that it's basically controlling Korea's lighting system just through this little MIDI controller. So I might also go, well, I mean, the brightness is okay, but it looks better in red. So we can start to really mess with some fun things, or we can go, well, let's get all do pink, we'll do the RGB, and even adjust more subtle things like, oh, the color temperature is too warm, so we'll cool it down. Or we can even do, let's see if we can do it. We can do black lights. Ooh, that's cool. Or even strobes. Maybe that'll be better in white. Anyway, so you can do that too, Tay. You can mess with me. It's not just only me. So I've labeled things over there. Oh yeah, that's taking the lights out. That's dimming, or you can change the colors. So there's R for red, G for green, B for blue, A for amber, W for white, and UV is UV, and strobe. So it's in some ways not that big of a step. It's not that that crazy of a leap. But it's exciting to think about how using these different types of sensors and other ways of moving that this could become interesting. So you could use it as a technician, just as a way to sort of be able to coexist and get what you need from the remote side in a teaching circumstance or even in a performative circumstance. And these can be translated beyond just lighting. It could also be applied to audio or other professional hardware systems. So this can control an ETC lighting board. So it could do really extensive lighting in this way. Or you could control a video switcher. So for example, sometimes when I'm teaching, I'm frustrated because I don't have the view that I want to see. But using, oops, I'm changing my own over there. But using this, I can actually choose the camera in Korea that I want to see. So I really want a close-up of Tay. And Tay can do that as well. So if you look at where it's marked far, those will toggle, those two will toggle my camera. So then you can decide what camera perspective you want. So now I can use this if I'm teaching and I don't have a production team and I want to change the media that I'm sending to Tay. I can do that by toggling these two buttons. But also Tay can take control himself, and he can say, well, you know what, I really want to see this camera perspective or the over the shoulder, or I want to see the presentation. And now he can start to make those selections just using very normal media arts tools like a MIDI controller.
This was a software that was developed here at Ultra, and then you guys used it.
Nice. There, just a few feet away from me. And this is a kind of a stage area that's 12 feet long with a theatrical scrim coming down. And the purpose of our residency here was to make a new design that could be a portable, kind of more theatrical design. So transitioning from that idea where everything was extremely site-specific, always responding to a particular space, we were using Culture Hub as a kind of laboratory to find a new way to have a portable performance. So we have a big show coming up at the new Pace Gallery space in Chelsea that just opened last week. And it's a few weeks away in October. And so we're doing a version of this. This is really like a maquette, kind of a model that we were working on here for that performance, which will be an expanded version. Their stage is 90 feet long. This was 12 feet long.